Hey everyone, welcome to my boss guide for Dodonpachi. I apologize that I'm whispering, but I don't want to wake up my son in the other room, so this will be a quiet ASMR style video. Not intentionally, but I guess that's how it goes. So some words to begin. The first is that this is a boss guide that I use. These are the strategies that I'll use to fight bosses in Dodonpachi. However, the beauty of this game is that there are many different approaches to these fights, and by no means is this the definitive way you have to fight these bosses. These are just useful strategies that I use. There are some that are definitely more optimal, but I think these will be good survival strategies or strategies for, mid-level scoring and things like that. Okay, here we are with the first boss. Now, survival-wise, this boss is extremely easy to beat, but just in case you want to find, I guess, a quick, convenient strategy to defeat him, here you go. So this is just if you want to get through this fight quickly. Move up to the top left here, or top right, doesn't matter, just off center, and you point blank. Then as the pattern ends, pull back. Tap, 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 right, or left, doesn't matter. Move up, back to the middle. Like that. Stay in the middle. It's that easy. There's really not a lot to say, just the middle's the safe spot, and when it goes into that blue pattern with the blue lines, just tap to the right or left, and you should be fine. Very easy. So here's how you milk the boss for some extra points. What you want to do is you want to alternate the sides to get more hits. I'm not super good at this with CL because I usually play AL, so I don't exactly know how much is enough. And there you go. And if you weaken them enough, as they do that spin, it'll break. And then just stay in the middle. Stay back into the middle. Yeah, that first boss, if you want to get all those stars like I did, you weaken the left side, you weaken the right side, and they'll be flashing red, you'll see. And it's kind of tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. And then when they go to do that spin animation, if you break them during that spin animation is when you'll get all the stars. If you just break them without the spin, you'll get 1 star for each one. So, and they're worth a fair amount of points. It's not a huge, like, awesome score or anything, but if you want a little extra at the start of your run, there you go. I wouldn't say it's completely necessary if you're kind of a mid-level scorer though, by any means. Definitely not. Okay. So here we are at the second boss, the tank. It's not that hard, but significantly more difficult than the first boss. So there are 2 strategies that I use. The first is the straight up survival strategy that's extremely easy and extremely consistent, but it uses 1 bomb. So here is the super consistent 1 bomb strategy. And if you are not playing for a score, if you're playing for survival, I definitely recommend using this strategy because there's really no reason not to, because you'll have plenty of bombs and you'll recover the bomb quickly enough. So if you're playing strictly for survival, this is the strategy I think you should use. Here we go. You just point blank it in the face, just like this. Move back because the left cannon will snipe you if you get too close. Kind of watch those patterns, and now move up. Kind of stay point blanking it. These blue lines. Okay. And then, right as it fires, blast it. Bam. Every time. We'll do it again. Point blank. Watch the cannon on the left. Pull back. See? Now watch these bombs, or these bullets. Shouldn't be too tricky. And this one, just kind of stay in the middle area, continuing the point blank. And then, as it fires, boom. Just ram into it with a super bomb. Dead. simple, extremely consistent way to beat the boss. Just use this one bomb. Now here's the way to do it if you're going for the maximum bonus, so you're trying not to use bombs. And there's lots of little different variations, some that maximize hits more than this, but this is, I think, a good middle ground between keeping your maximum bonus, so playing for score, but not completely maximizing it, because completely maximizing it does add a little more difficulty. So here we go. What you do is you come up here, point blank this, and this. So there's three things you're destroying. The hatch on the right, and then the gun, and then the undergun. So the gun has a shell, you break that shell, but you keep attacking because there's the gun itself beneath the shell you have to break too. So all three are disabled. Pull left. Now we're going to break this hatch here. Okay, once that's done, now what a lot of people do is attack the gun here. But I leave the gun alone because we're going to use that time instead to point blank the center. Again, this is not maximizing your hits, but it is making it easier to pull off. And look, because you destroyed those hatches, this cannon is completely neutered. And then you just want to kind of move with it. Just be patient and kind of place yourself, as you can see, I'm placing myself adjacent to the center. I'm not in the center, you don't want that, but you don't want to be too far away either. You want to be right next to it, basically, because that's where you get a lot of gaps in the bullet patterns. This is the hardest part. And with that, try to move forward as much as you can, and then pull back with the bullets and look for gaps. That's how you deal with that pattern. So let's do this again. Break cannon, break hatch, break undergun, move over, destroy hatch here. This is the trickiest part. Yeah, sometimes that can happen. You have to just stream that. Okay, now we're going to put ourselves adjacent. And what I usually do is I get on the side opposite of the direction it's moving. So if it's moving left, I get on the right side. If it's moving right, I get on the left side. That seems to be a safer way to go. Get on the right, left side, see? Left. That's moving left, I'll move right. Well, I couldn't there. That's, you don't always have to if it's dangerous. Just generally, it's useful to do that. And then just point blank. Moving forward when possible. Find them gaps. See, it's not that hard, but there's that little extra difficulty because of that last pattern there. So there we go. There's the second boss. You can disable all the guns, but when you do that, I believe the center cannons get more aggressive if you do that. Let's double check that though. Let's disable all the guns. Maybe they don't, and instead what happens is that you just lose that time. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this strategy, so it might take me a try or two to do it. Yeah. And this makes the dodge harder too. Okay, so let's see what happens. Yeah, see? That's what I thought. So if you destroy all the guns, the cannon gets powered up in the center. You don't want that. That's why you leave the one gun on the left. Okay. Point proven. On to the next boss fight. Okay, so this isn't a boss fight, but I do want to show you the mid-boss for 2-3. The other mid-boss is 1-2 and 1-1 aren't really worth mentioning, so here we go. The mid-boss for 2-3, and we'll get up to it. This section is so much easier with CL than it is with AL. It's not that hard with AL, but you have to think about it a little more than with CL. The section surprisingly is about the same. Okay, here we are in the mid-boss. So let's make ourselves a save state here. So I have to go so far upward, I don't want to mess with my other save states. Okay. So here's the plan. See it? We're going to move up. We're going to point blank the right cannon, move back, and so we line up adjacent to the center, just kind of like we did on the tank, and then we're going to wait. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch for those purple bullets to explode, and once they do, we're going to pull right and reaction dodge. The thing about it, in the first loop, is that there's always enough time to make the dodge. There's some pretty tricky ones, but it's always enough. Whereas in the second loop, sometimes you just get screwed, boned. So, here we go. See? Now pull back, like that. Okay, now we're going to watch for the explosion. Ready? There it is. Okay. And when that happens, we're going to pull right. There's always enough time to make the dodge. Just watch. Watch the bullets. Pull right. Yeah, it takes a little bit of practice, but there's always enough time to dodge it. Even with CL. See? Pull right. And that's it. Okay, so let's move on to the boss of 1-3. B3, I believe. 4. Okay, so let's strategize before I begin fighting. So the first thing we're going to do is, you notice those turrets, the two front ones. We're going to point blank them and destroy them, as well as hit the core. We're going to hit all three at the same time. Okay, step 1. There we go. Looks like this. Okay, those three are destroyed. Now we're going to move forward onto the core. Okay. Okay, now that we're on the core, we're going to watch the top left and top right cannons that will open up and fire. When they fire, we move forward to dodge. It's an easy dodge, but you have to pay attention. Move forward. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Oh yeah, this is the one bomb strategy, by the way. I'll show you the no bomb later. Up. One more. Up. Okay, now we're going to do, you see this striped line that goes down the middle? We're going to align ourselves adjacent to it, so either on the left or right side, doesn't matter, but we're not going to align directly on it. We're going to align adjacent to it, like this. Then we're going to move backwards. And now we're going to attack the middle, move forward, attack the middle. We're going to keep attacking the middle until both cannons open, okay? So one cannon open on the left, we're waiting for the right one to open. There we go, they're both open. Okay, now both cannons are open. We're going to bomb both cannons with a laser bomb, okay? Important note is, you gotta make sure before you bomb that their covers come off, because as they're opening, they're still protected, so you gotta wait till they're completely naked, then you bomb. Okay. Now that all that's left is to just move forward and point blank the core. Extremely easy. And you'll get a different number of patterns when you're point blanking the core, so I guess I'll walk you through the strategies for each pattern. So let's do it again. Break the cannon, watch for the turrets, open, move forward. 1, 2, okay, adjacent, move back. Keep attacking the center. Yeah, watch out for that. Keep attacking the center, kind of stay in the center, but not directly in the center. Yeah, you basically never want to line up with that painted line. You want to be either on the left or right side of it, even when you're further back. Okay, they're open. Now that they're open, we bomb. Okay, so this one where it kind of scatter shots the blue, this is really easy to dodge. All you do is move forward, because that widens the pattern, and then alternate from the left to the right, right to the left, you know, alternate back and forth slowly to throw off the tracking of the pink bullets. And you'll notice when you watch super plays that people take out those cannons at the top, but it's actually, if you're just trying to play for survival, or even just trying to play for a kind of mid-level score, I don't think it's worth the effort. You get a few extra hits and stuff, but might as well just keep it safe, speed kill the core. Okay, with this one, this is a good pattern to look. So here's the thing about this pattern. The further back you are, the narrower the dodge is when it activates. So see here, I'm kind of up in the center here. I'm like top 2/3 of the screen or whatever. That's good positioning. You don't want to be all the way in the back because you'll get squished in and have to make these really tricky, not, well, for the first loop, kind of tricky dodges. So here we go. You see, since I was forward, the gate opens wider, and it opens earlier too. So you just pull back with it and dodge. You don't want to be doing this. I'll show you what not to do. This part you do want to do, just the last part. Adjacent, pull back, hit the center. Center, wait for the core to open. Okay, it's open, fire. Okay, you don't want to do this. You don't want to hang back here. I mean, it's still not that hard because it's the first loop, but I think it makes it harder. You have less space to work with, and the bullets are so slow that they're not going to just randomly hit you like in the second loop. Last time showing this strat, then I'll show the other one. Move forward. Oh, this pattern. This pattern is really easy to dodge. It's the easiest one. All you do is you tap dodge from the left and right, and then you desync the blue bullets from the pink. And the way you do that is you just quickly pull up, either up to the left or up to the right, and it'll desync them, and then you can just dodge through. Watch. Oh, okay. Stop doing it. You'd come up here like this and it desyncs them. Maybe it'll do it again. Nope. See how much easier that is to dodge if you're just up close? Okay, here's the next strat. So it's somewhat different because now we're not going to use a bomb. This is if you want to maintain your maximum bonus. Again, this isn't maximizing the boss because I'm not doing everything to get all the hits. This is somewhere in the middle, but I think if you're, not going for a really insanely high score, because boss bonus hits give you a fair amount of score, but not like a lot, really, in the grand scheme of things, so here we go. So this is my version of no bombing this boss. So it starts the same. Attack the core, dodge once. Okay, now instead of dodging twice, now we're going to move over and attack the right cannon, okay? Instead of doing it twice, you do it once, and then you attack the right cannon. Pull back, and keep attacking the cannon. Okay, cannon destroyed. Now we're actually going to attack the middle. We don't go straight to the left cannon, because if we destroy the middle, the left cannon will open by itself, and it's more efficient, I think, to just destroy the middle. Okay. More efficient as in, difficulty, not as in getting more hits, because you'd get more hits attacking the left anyway. Okay, we're gonna keep attacking the core until that opens. Okay, it's open. That's because I was using safe states, I promise. That's okay. We're gonna recheck everything we did so far. Okay, go back. Oh, I didn't destroy it. I thought I did. Okay. Okay, now it's gonna open. Okay, now we can do as we did before. It's more aggressive. There we go. Boss cleared. Alright. On to boss 4. No time to waste. Okay. So before this boss fight begins, the first thing you're gonna do is you notice down in the look down at the bomb bar, and you notice that graphic in the middle, that design. We're gonna line up our left thruster with the right edge of that design, like this. See that? Place it right there. Okay. That. After we do that, then we're gonna go directly forward and start point blank in the boss, like this. Okay, right around here, right around 10, start moving back to that spot on the bar, completely back. Okay, sit back, this spot right here, move forward, and move back. And we're gonna wait for 4 waves, dodge right, dodge left. Very easy. Actually, I'd say more like 11, not 10. Yeah, 11. 2, 3, 4, dodge. Or dodge right, then dodge left. Now this path here is hard to articulate what to do, but if you follow exactly what I do here, it works every single time, no variation. You stick in the middle until it goes to all the way to the left, and then you jump to the outer right portion, follow it, and then jump back over through the cannon shots. It's actually, it looks a lot harder than it actually is. Okay, now what? So actually, you need to get really good at doing that, and not just like, oh, I can do it. Like, you need to get really good at doing that, because when you're doing that sequence right there, you are never going to actually be looking at your ship or the boss. What you should be looking at is the boss's enemy bar, or life bar up at the top. And what we want, you see here, I pause on perfect spot. You want it to be like this. You want the edge of the life bar to be lined up with the front side, the front leg of the edge. You want them lined up, okay? And if you don't get them lined up through lasering, you can shot them a little bit during the next pattern. But once they're lined up, do not attack. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly make our way across the screen to the middle right. You don't want to be down right, because the glitch won't work if you're too far down. You don't want to be up right too far, because I haven't had the glitch work up there either. Maybe it does, but I've never had it. The middle is the golden spot. Okay, now what we're going to do is we time this. I'll probably get this wrong because it takes me a few with CL, because I'm not a CL player. But you want to time it, just not right away. You want to hit it right as it's about to fire the cannon, and that locks it, okay? Oh, the save state lost my input there. There we go. 11, move back. There we go. You don't have to do that little bump forward, I do just to get a little extra hit. Ah, see, this one I'm like way off. I didn't point blank it good enough. So we need to laser it some more as we dodge, which is hard. Okay, I think that's enough. Oh, I was a little slow on that. Like I said, you want to crack him right as he opens. right as he fires. It takes me a few more tries to see L because the timing's different than with AL. AL, I feel like the timing's a little easier. Ooh. Hit him too much. That's why it's good to try and point blank him as much as you can in this first phase so you don't have to worry about it. Good. Oh, I was about to say. Yeah, you guys will see me struggle with CL. I'm not as used to it as with AL. The method's still the same, it's just the timing's a little different. Because the amount of damage your attacks do is a little different. Okay, that should do it. There we go. And notice that your laser takes a little bit of wind up before it activates. AL, it actually takes longer. So it's actually easier with AL because you basically just fire it the second he gets over there and it usually works. With CL you actually have to do a little bit of a timing thing here to get it. Because otherwise you break him too early. And there you go. Getting the glitch is highly important because you can use this exact same strategy on 2-4, and trust me, that's saving you a bitch of a boss fight. And I feel like 1-4 isn't negligible either. Like that. I'm just gonna cut that whole thing out. I feel like I shouldn't though. Just glitching. Save yourself that stupid fight. Okay. Now let's move on to 1-5. Okay. So disclaimer about 1-5 is that, oh yeah, I should also mention my strategy for 1-4 is not optimal because the better way to set up the glitch sets it up on the left side so that you never drop the hit bonus. But the way I do it seems easier, especially in the second loop, so that's how I do it. So it's easier. And like I said, the hit bonuses, unless you're like really good and really optimizing, they're not that big of a deal. I mean, they're helpful, but they're not that big of a deal. So here we go. So anyway, 1-5. So this is going to be the weirdest one of all the strategies I show you because it's kind of unique in how I do it, and I don't think a lot of other players do it this way. I actually have not seen another player do it this way. So I'd recommend checking out Jamers, Prometheus, Bananamatic if you want, Vlakisto if you want like the proper way to fight this boss. But here's my way of doing it, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to point blank it in the face, and we're going to line ourselves up between the two bars there, okay? Okay, at this point, we're going to continue lasering, and we're going to visually watch, because what's going to happen is these blue bullets are going to come out, and you're going to visually see them begin, and then immediately tap dodge left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. My timing's off, but still worked. Okay, so once you dodge those, you're gonna pull completely to the right, and you're gonna stay there and be patient, and not move until you see the next pattern come out, and it'll come out kind of close to you. It's a pink bullet. Follow them down to the right, and you can just pass right through the pattern. If you go too early, the pattern will overlap itself and make it really hard. But if you just wait and be patient, it'll be open every time. Very easy. Okay. So if you're practicing this and you keep getting the pattern closing on you, it's because you're moving too early. Okay, right here. There it is. And there it is. It opens every time. Okay, so this is a one bomb strategy. It's extremely consistent and extremely easy. So once you do that, you just point blank this right side here, and then kind of slowly go across to avoid the little enemies that spawn, and then you bomb, move up, okay? You just slowly move left, blow them up, shoot them, bomb, move up. Okay, I forget because you're CL, I do this with AL, so normally you'd make it plenty of time because your ships are faster. With CL, you gotta be a little closer before you bomb. Just remember that. It still works, you just gotta be a little closer. Now bomb. There you go. Just had to be a little closer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get up in this cockpit area, or this cradle, whatever you want to call it, and you just follow along with it. There's really not a lot of advice I can give you other than just practice it. Save state right here and just practice it because it's really consistent and easy once you get the timing down. Just follow along. You kind of want to line up your thrusters at the bottom of the cradle. That's like a safe spot. And beware that the ship will slightly move up and down, so you're going to have to slightly align yourself up and down between each pass. When it's going across, it won't move up and down, but when it shifts to the other direction, it will move up and down a little bit, okay? So like, it's shifting and moved up a little bit. And then there you go. I think it'll shift down a little bit here. Yeah, shift a little bit down. Shift a little bit up. Boom. Easy. Works every time. Remember, you have to be a little closer with CL. This is actually easier with CL because the movement speed's a little more manageable. Boom. Just like that. So that's my one bomb strategy. So now I'll show you the no bomb strategy. Here, the thing is I can show you the strategy and I use it, but I kind of feel guilty because it's not that reliable. I mean, it's reliable execution-wise, but if you get bad randomness, you'll die or have a bitch of a time, so keep that in mind. Oh, I suck at that. So wait, pull back. Now get up there, around the wing, and pull straight back. That seems to line them up pretty good. Now just hope this guy doesn't snipe you. Okay. Now we gotta find an exit. There we go. There you go, just like that. And that is 1-5. I almost never do the no bomb strat, so it's a little bit of a crapshoot how I do it, but if you, like I said, if you want to see the proper way to do it, definitely check out those other super players, Prometheus, Jamers, Blackisto, Bananamatic. They all do it that fight properly. The 2-5 fight, I think I'm a lot more traditional with, but that's how I do 1-5. I learned it that way, and I kind of stick with it for now. So now 1-6. I have grinded and grinded this boss fight, so I'm excited to share my method of doing it with you. And if I haven't said this before, I'll say it again. These are my strategies. There's definitely other ways to do it, maybe even better ways, but these are what I found that works for me, and they're consistent, so I'm putting them out there. So I begin by lining up with the right cannon here, or the right thruster, right here. And what that does is it kind of offsets the shot. So you're going to wait for the shot to come out, and it's kind of offset. Like that, see? You slowly dodge to the left, and look how easy those gaps are to dodge. Then move forward, move back, move forward, move back. That's simple. You can do that. Just follow that path every time. It works the same every time. 100%. So if you mess it up, it's just a matter of bad timing on your part. No variation at all. And try not to move too quickly. Be patient. Okay. So let's talk about this pattern. So this pattern is a tricky bitch if you don't know what you're doing. But what you do is you line yourself up with the left cannon, and a lot of players do this, not just me. And you slowly kind of turtle your way across the screen to the right. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want that. You want to slowly turtle your way to the right. And if you line everything up, you will just make yourself a nice, easy gap to just slip through. Getting a sense for the timing of the gap and your positioning takes some time, and I get it here and there. Sometimes I just have to bomb if I corner myself. So, here we go. Okay, here we go. Slowly turtle yourself. Just watch the pink bullets, don't even worry about the blue. Move forward. There's the gap. Yes, perfect. Then we turtle ourselves across the other way. There you go. That's how you do it. And I'll show you a one where I get jammed and you just bomb out. Using a bomb on that pattern, there's no shame in that. And after you bomb, don't go crazy and like fly around the screen when you bomb. Just bomb in place, hold your position, and then turtle to the left. Okay? So I'll show you that. I'll show you the bomb. I don't know the exact difference, because you're not tap dodging necessarily. You're like turtling, I like to call it. You're like making your way very slowly across the screen. Okay, here we go. Now just watch the pink bullets and watch for the gaps. Okay, when I say that, and I blow myself up. Okay, you do have to watch the blue bullets a little bit, but you get to a certain point later in the thing where you just watch the pink. At the start, you gotta kind of watch both. Okay, there we go. Now just watch the pink. Now I'm gonna trap myself here on tension. Okay, now I'm trapped. Oh, look at that gap. That was so easy. I can't help but dodge it. Okay, that was perfect. So I gotta do it again. Yeah, if you do it perfectly, you don't even have to dodge anything. You can just move to the other side of the screen. But it's not as simple as it sounds. And sometimes this can happen, right? So just sit here, right about there, and tap left. There you go. Okay. So this pattern looks a hell of a lot more complicated than it is, the one we're about to get hit with. Basically, what you want to do is you want to pull yourself all the way back. You want to just kind of stay in this little area in the center. Dodge left, dodge right. There's no pattern to it, but because the pattern's random. But within the randomness, there are mini patterns that you will recognize. And the ones you need to really watch out for are these two bullets that will be clustered together very closely. Those are the ones you want to macro dodge. Everything else you can weave in between. And then watch those two bullets that are close together and go around them, okay? So most of your dodging, you're just going back and forth, and then when you get into a rhythm, it throws one of those clustered bullets at you, and you got to go around it. Okay, so here we go. Back and forth, just like that. Watching for those clustered bullets. There's one. See that? There's another. See that? Just go around those. All right. This is one of the hardest patterns for me for some reason. It's not that bad, and yet it is bad. So this is the pink discs of doom, or purple discs of doom actually. So this is what you want to do. Right away, you want to fly right up to the right cannon and get close to it and kind of point blank it, and then pull back along when the pattern opens. The reason you do this is because it widens the pattern and it makes the different intersecting chains easier to get through, okay? Pull back. Okay, we've accomplished that. Now, this pattern is just going to take some practice, even if you conceptually understand what to do, just because it involves reaction times, okay? You're just going to have to do some reaction dodging here. Maybe there's a way to like consistently do the same dodges every time, I'm not sure. I've never had that experience, but anyway, okay, it's hard to do mid-pattern. So you get up there, pull back, and what you want to do is you want to dodge left, you want to dodge right, and then you want to dodge forward when possible, because that widens the pattern and it makes the dodges easier, trust me. So you need to dodge left, right, and forward. Try to do all of them. Oh, I think I have a load state. Where does this go? So I don't have a load state for that pattern, really? Just a load state for the final pattern. I'm so cool, I don't need that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make one when we get there. It's hard to work off a load state, okay? Okay. Yeah, hit right in front of those, just like this. Okay. Now, once you get through that pattern, comes the final pattern. Yay! And for that, let's go to our other load state. And there's a lot to say about this pattern. A lot to learn, a lot to say. Oh my crap, it's in my AL. I'm AL all of a sudden. Okay. It's funny, I left my AL save state in there. Okay. So now we go on to the final pattern here. And before I get into the nitty gritty of what you need to do or what you can do, because this pattern is complicated, I'm just gonna have you listen to the rhythm of the dodges, okay? So here we go. Yeah, I'm not super good at it, so you'll have to forgive me if I make some mistakes here. It's not an easy pattern. I got him in a good rhythm, but he'll switch up on you. Okay, that was a good example. Okay, so the point of that was to just watch and listen to the rhythm of my dodges, because if all else, the first thing you need to learn is when you can move. There's a timing. You go too early, you're gonna get nailed by the pink wall. You go too late, you're gonna get hit by the blue spears, okay? So there's like a perfect rhythm to the dodges. And it's kind of like right before the spear hits you in the face. See, that was too early. Too early. Yeah, if you go way early like I did just there, you'll run into the spear, so that's not good. Too early. See, I'm too eager. bad crossover. Okay. Let's watch one more of these attempts here, and I'll explain more about what to do. That's the tricky part right at the end when it changes up. I'm just playing bad tonight too, guys. I'm sorry. Playing like crap. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you just want to get that rhythm down. And now I'll talk about the general strategy here. So let's get into it. Okay. So obviously you got these angled spears coming at you. The tricky part about it is their angles will vary, okay? It's not static, it's a little bit randomized. So you can't just memorize this pattern. I guess there is maybe a way to do it. Jamers was mentioning that there is a way to just memorize it, but it's like extremely precise. Like extremely precise to memorize that fixed route. And it's probably easier just to learn how to dodge it on reaction. You know, improve your reaction skills anyway. I mean, you can't, you know, route everything in your life, right? And once you kind of know what to do on reaction, you can get pretty consistent. Okay. Yeah, I'm on a weird save state, so I think I'll just talk as I play because it's harder than... So as you see, another reason why you want to wait to dodge is because you're going to want to wait till that opens. The pink waves opens, right? So if you're running into the pink wave, you're moving too early, most likely. Okay? So you gotta wait till the pink wave opens. Also, you can't fly too extreme. Like, you can't do big extreme dodges like this because you'll run into the pink wave, see? So, but you can, look at this, you can gradually make the pink wave move with you, see? By making these small dodges. See that? And it's all about rhythm. I'm not super god tier reaction times where I'm reacting to those pink bullets. I'm dodging them based on a rhythm, not based on visual cues, okay? I'm dodging the blue spears visually. I'm looking at them and dodging them. The pink wall, I'm dodging based on the rhythm of my movements. I just know I can't move unless I'm at this set rhythm. And basically you want to move, if you're doing it visually, I guess, you want to move just before those things open, right? But really you should just learn the timing by feel, by rhythm. Because you have to use your powers of concentration on the blue spears, not on the pink wall. So this is a recent discovery I found. Is the interesting thing about this pattern is you can get it set into this like cycle. You can either get it to cycle to the left or get it to cycle to the right. And the bad news is, the good news is that's really a lot easier than dodging it reactionary left and right every time if you get it to cycle. The problem is that you don't get complacent because it will throw a weird angled spear at you and it'll kill you if you just get stuck in the cycle. So here, I'll cycle it, and setting up the cycle is kind of tricky too. How you want to set it up is you want to gradually move, you can't do it all at once, you want to gradually move to the side that you want to cycle, which I usually like to do it on the left side. I think it's easier. Just based on my arcade stick movements, it's easier to do for the left side. So you get to the left, and you just go in this circle, okay? But slowly. And it's like a weird junked up circle, it's not a perfectly smooth one. And you can get it to repeat that pattern over and over because if I can get to go. We're not in the cycle yet. Okay, now we're in one. Oh, I was too eager. This is a bitch of a pattern to do a tutorial on because I'm trying to talk and dodge it at the same time. Okay. I was too wide there. You don't want to be too wide. Too wide's bad. Right. Okay. Give me a moment here. there. You're rare. There we go. There's the cycle. And you gotta watch that right, and you gotta watch that left spear and that right spear. You gotta watch both spears. Make sure as soon as the angle changes, you're gonna have to. That's the art of this pattern is. Once you learn all that, you still have to reactionary dodge to the change in angles. And you kind of just gotta learn by experience what you need to do afterward. You're gonna either need to dodge to the left or dodge to the right. And you can actually know that just by seeing the angle of the spear. I'm not even looking at my ship, I'm just looking at the angles of the spear. And the rest is all muscle memory of timing. The rest is just the muscle memory of timing the dodges to be within the opening of the pink wall. And the hand movements. You have to also learn the hand movements. I think this is where arcade sticks, probably keyboards too, pads, probably, maybe it doesn't matter, but at least the nice thing about arcade sticks is you can hear your own rhythm. You can hear your own movements, and that is actually helpful. I'm sure on keyboard it's the same. This keyboard can be loud too. And you kind of got to learn what you can get away with and what you can't. And that kind of comes through experience. But normally, a general rule of thumb is the later the dodge, the better. Like, as far as leniency with getting around the bullets. Because usually early dodges are what get you. So when you're practicing this, in your head, every time you die, make a note. Did you dodge too early? Did you dodge too late? If you dodge too early, just gotta wait a bit. If you dodge too late, you gotta think faster. I always dodge too early. I never dodge too late. Unless I'm really trying to dodge late, and that's the only time. But naturally, I always dodge too early. See, I've got him in a nice cycle. Now watch for the angle change. There it was. Now I gotta get to a new cycle, a new pattern. And it's just me, but it can't be. You notice whenever I die, it's at the end. I think the pattern, in some subtle way, the angles get more aggressive at the end, which sucks. Because you notice at the beginning, it's just this nice, relaxing dodge, and then at the end, it's just total chaos. Because I think at the end of the pattern, it starts throwing in crazier angle variations at you. So I guess what you can do to augment that is just bomb, right? Like, if you're gonna bomb this pattern, bomb it at the end, because I'm pretty sure those angles get funkier as you go on. I have another note I'll give you guys after I make it through this. Look, see? The angles are getting crazy at the end there. Okay, I have another note about the dodges. It is always best to dodge beneath the diagonal, not around it, okay? So, you notice how those spears are coming at a diagonal? You want to get underneath it, on the same side it's coming from. So if it's coming from the left, it's almost, sometimes you have to go crosswise, but most of the time you want to try and get underneath it on the left side, underneath it on the right side, right? There's just less surface area to hit you if you do that. Sometimes you can't though, just based on what's going on, but... And you notice too, sometimes I move forward. The reason I do that is because it gets you around the length of the spear earlier. So you just have to know when to do it, but yeah, there's a value to moving forward, especially at the beginning. Just because it cuts down on the danger of the spear. But there you go. But once you can try and set up it to do that cycle, And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to just free dodge it for a while until you get it set up. There we go. Okay, it's going to do this for a while, then it's going to change up on me. There was the change up. I reacted the wrong way. And I'm playing like crap tonight. Absolute crap. Okay, one more dodge and that's enough on this pattern. I think I've given enough notes. Killing me, Smalls. I'll cut this out. There we go. Oh. Stream over for the evening. Thanks for tuning in.